Hello, audience. I am Jocelyn Mathewes, and this is Eat Art Space, the tiny pop-up gallery from a dining room in Appalachia. The gallery is based in Johnson City, Tennessee, and I started the gallery in the pandemic times in 2020 when everything shut down. And I just decided this was a good idea and I didn't want to stop. So here with me today is Shawn Quilliams, who is the amazing painter behind some of these paintings here in the gallery. I'll take you around. You can ask questions of Shawn, and hopefully we're going to go in a minute. Anyway, this is my dining room. I operate this gallery out of my house. I'm a local artist, and this gallery is focused on artists within 250 miles of Johnson City, Tennessee. And Shawn, you are based in
Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon Forge, the land of
Yes.
Dolly.
Yes, Dollywood land.
And is that where you grew up?
Yeah. So I was born here, grew up here. Yeah, lived here until I went to Johnson City for undergrad.
Oh, wow. Okay, so like long time in Pigeon Forge, long time East Tennessee. And tell me a little bit about your art journey, how you got started, because obviously you made a choice in undergrad to go and actually study this thing. So how did that all begin?
Yeah, so it started out, just drawing, my whole life, which I feel like a lot of people always drew when they were kids, but I guess I just kept doing it. I loved like Avatar: The Last Airbender, like all these cartoons, so I'd draw the characters in that, and that just grew into a passion of art, I guess. And I always used paint. I always felt like a draw to paint, and I never knew why, but I guess I figured it out in undergrad. But maybe, who knows? And I went to ETSU as an art major. But when I got there, I was like, oh, I don't know what I want to do in this, like what medium to even choose. So I was just going through, I took a bunch of classes, and I started out as a graphic design major. So I think a lot of my painting has a little bit of a graphic design influence. It's kind of like highly composed and rendered sometimes, and it's kind of graphic in some elements. So I feel like that's still there sometimes, but I made the switch over to painting because I don't know, I felt more challenged in it. I felt more like I could be freer. I don't know, that there was more that I could do in painting than what I could have done with graphic design. Not to say graphic design isn't hard or meaningful at all, because it very much is. There were
Yeah.
a lot of projects in those courses that I was like, oh my God, what is this? Like folding package designs and stuff, crazy.
That's my background, so that's really funny that you started out that way. So
Yeah.
like maybe it explains why I gravitate towards your paintings.
But graphic design's cool. I still love advertisements. Like I find them amazing and like very interesting, like the science behind them. So cool. But yeah, I went to painting maybe my sophomore year of undergrad, fully made that switch, and I've just been doing it ever since. I felt a draw to it, and I still feel like challenged by it, and like I'm finding these new things to like work through in my work in painting. So
Really cool.
yeah.
Really cool. So where are you talking to us from right now? It is like I'm starting to sneak over your shoulder and be like, is that your studio? Is that what? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Can you
I'm in my garage studio. Do we want to do a tour?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Let's see your studio tour, because
Okay.
I can like these are Shawn's paintings that are in the gallery here.
Yeah.
And I can flip some stuff around while people are wandering out so they can see connections between your work is very large.
Yeah.
At least some of these paintings here. Are all of your paintings super large? I mean, you've got
Um,
these smaller ones here.
yeah, mostly the ones that I show are large.
Uh-huh.
And I can get into that. Um, but I have been working smaller recently, like with those portraits. Right now, what I'll show you what I'm doing is a still life that I'm trying to like I don't know, with smaller works, I'm really challenged in like composition. It's just different because big paintings are so big that I can be like very meticulous with everything that I put in them. And smaller paintings, you have to be more, I don't know, careful, I've found.
Yeah.
But let's start this studio
So,
tour.
and by small paintings, do you mean like
Hmm.
this size? Because this is 16 by 20, which some people think is large, some people think is small. So tell me, you've got to tell me what small paintings are for
And
you.
people think I'm crazy when I say this, but like what I would consider small is anything under 30 inches.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
yeah, anything under 30 inches, I'm like, there's not enough space. I need more space. Like, between 30 and 40, I think is like medium for me. And then
Okay.
40 and plus is like big. I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember. Like this one is 40 by 54 behind me. I have to
Yeah.
stand back here to make sure that the camera can capture the whole thing. And
Yeah.
it feel obviously it feels very complete, you know,
Mhm.
and you've got all of your compositional elements here. I feel like I'm showing you the weather. Like over here we have
Yeah.
some geese coming in on the left-hand side and they're gonna anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so what have you got to show us on your end here?
Well, first I want to show you my studio mate.
Okay.
This is my
Oh,
dog
who is
Dixie.
this?
This is
Oh,
Dixie. She's a
hi,
little
Dixie.
Yorkie. Hey, Dixie. She's so sweet. But she
Aw.
sits in her little chair. She's tied up to like a weight system. I don't even know. So she doesn't get away. Because I love painting with the outdoors open. So, like, that's my front yard.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, there's my garage. Woo. But over here is like my making space. I'll get to that painting in a minute.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, I'm very excited to see it.
Here's like my workspace, and like I might be a little bit messy, but it works. I got my paints, paintbrushes, coffee, that's essential.
Yes.
Um, Palette. I just use like a, I don't even remember what it's called. I got it from Lowe's. It's like an acrylic sheet or something.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just got a big one for that. And then I'm working, and this is a small one. It's an 18 by 24.
Okay.
In progress still life. That one. And then the still life over here, what I'm referencing is this like diorama almost of like this thing that I've set up. Um, and this is how I'm like working through my composition problems with smaller paintings.
Okay.
I was like, how can I tackle this in the most like academic way possible? Because I'm like trying to like figure out small work. And I was like, oh, still lifes are super academic. So I've set this one up and I've kind of had to take it apart a little bit because I was resting this lamp on the top of this painting and it's like
Mm.
along this wall. So I don't know how to
So you're
describe
trying to
it.
use you're really working hard to utilize your space
Uh-huh.
effectively,
Yes. Yeah. So
like
I've
every
made this
single artist I know.
right. And I've made this out of a chewy cardboard box. That was for my dog. And I've when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about like childhood nostalgia, queerness in Appalachia. So
Mm.
I have like a photograph of Dolly Parton by Andy Warhol, a can of green beans, a lot of Scooby Doo imagery, like a fishing bait. One of my Max Steel dolls that I had as a kid, and I just like took his pants off and threw him down. Um, and then I have like this very southern, I feel like patterned piece of cloth and like a candle and a lantern. So yeah, I wanted it to be thematic, but also just composed. And this took me like 2 hours to create just that box.
So just the sheer setup alone is a
Yeah.
part of the process because you're choosing objects intentionally that are based in your experience and in your place.
Yes. Yeah. So
So
all
it's
these
not like
items,
you're just this is not just any study. This is
right.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
wanted it to be more intentional than just a compositional study. Like that is
Hmm.
what it is at its core, but I wanted it to feel like my other works. So all this stuff is like from my house. Like that Scooby Doo blanket is mine from a kid. Like all this stuff. That couch back there is my sister's, like a Barbie couch. Um,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
just a bunch of stuff that I've found. So, and then that's what I'm working with, and I'm building it up. This is like first layer stuff right here. So, most of it's not even worked on yet, but I'm just working through it, throwing paint down, just trying to like get the colors and stuff. So, yeah.
Tell me why you're trying to work out smaller works. Is it like because if you're so much more comfortable painting big, are
Mhm.
there rationales besides like I want to figure out this problem that are behind it or And
Yes.
that can be fine.
Yeah, and I'll flip it for this. Yeah, I mean, smaller works, one, I feel like are more accessible to people.
Mm,
I
like
mean,
these guys, because
yeah.
you sold both of these guys.
Mhm. Yeah, even looking at the work in this show, like not not saying that that's what sells and I just want to sell, but
I mean,
having
what
work,
artist doesn't want to sell, really?
that's true. But having work that's more accessible for people, who can't afford the bigger pieces or don't have wall space. I want there to be work for anybody who wants to own a piece of mine
Hmm.
in any price range. That's one part of it. Another part of it is that they're quicker. Like
Yeah.
these big paintings, they take me months. And sorry if I'm like shaking a lot. I do have a trimmer, but anyway.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, these bigger ones, they take so long. So
If you need a
medium.
break, by the way, you can just set the camera down somewhere. It's okay.
Oh yeah. But
I've got a tripod, so that's how I'm a little bit more steady.
that's convenient. But yeah, these mediums and smaller works, they're just quicker, and I
Hmm.
can get these ideas down quicker. But I don't feel like they're as strong as my bigger paintings. So I'm like, how can I make these stronger so they still hold their weight in my body of work?
Well, what you're doing with the still lifes is very exciting.
Mhm.
So it'll be fun to see how those things play out.
Yeah, and then I'll show you my piece that I finished post show. It's a big one.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
so this one is, just making sure I'm not stepping on anything. This one is a 48 by 72. This one, it went through a lot. It was like 3 paintings before this one, all dealing with the same subject matter. Like uh, when I'm coming up with a painting, I either have an idea or I have a title. And this one, I had a
Mm,
title.
okay.
So this one's called Unleashing Haints Around the Holler. Um, and I was like, that would be such a cool title for a painting. And I was like, but what does that painting look like? So it took me 3 tries to get it. And this is what came out of it. And I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with the figures and like the light play that's like going on in the work, and like all the colors I think are really fun.
Now,
Um,
real quick to rewind for
mhm.
those in the audience that don't know what the term holler or haints means,
Yes.
because I'm originally from the Northeast and
Mhm.
never heard of those. So,
Yeah.
for those outside the region,
Yes.
tell us about them.
Um, so yes, good point. I really do like to harp on Appalachian words, themes, and stuff like that because it's a core part of my practice. But hollers is the, I guess, shortened word for hollow. So like a valley that people live in, like a small little valley. So in the South, we just call them a holler. So like, uh, there's, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of a hollow name. Um,
Well, there's a trail right around my house. It's called Hartshill Hollow,
yeah,
which was probably Hartshill Holler,
yeah.
if
So
you're going to say it the right way.
yeah, so if you're a local, you just say
Yeah,
that, and then holler.
holler.
So
Yeah.
that's where that word came from. A haint is another word for like a ghoul or a ghost or some kind of spirit. An a disturbed spirit is a haint. It's
Now, and a haint, do you include Bigfoot in the haint category as well?
See, I've found that haints can be like a general term for anything that's like spooky and mysterious.
Okay.
Or some people say that a haint is specifically a ghost.
Okay.
So I,
Because I've heard it used both ways, and I was like, I need to talk to somebody who grew up here.
yeah. So I've heard it both ways too, but from my experience, most people mean like ghost and stuff. So that's the route that I went with
Okay.
that.
Unleashing haints around the holler is more about ghosts.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just this group of people who were messing with a Ouija board, and a spirit came out. But like with all of my works, like I don't want it to be that one note. So I'll go ahead and tell the story with this one, like I told the
Sure.
story with rowing for serpent sightings. But so this group of people, they were messing with this Ouija board in this like abandoned house. And the Ouija board has a kind of a hidden meaning. The letters that are highlighted in pink spell out I am gay. So the spirit to me is a queer figure who's returned to meet these people. But the reason that the spirit is looking behind their shoulder is because in this TV, there's a reflection of somebody in the room with a gun.
Huh.
So while all these figures are afraid of this one, this ghost has like realized what the true horror in the room is. And like with my other works, looking at the viewer, he's looking at us. So I'm almost posing a question as to, are we the horror? What's your intention towards these people? Stuff like that. Yeah.
So this is a freshly completed work. It's ready to go. And is this piece going to be shown somewhere? Yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Because Rowing for Serpent Sightings is coming up in another show, and I wanted to make sure that you had a chance to talk about that.
Yes. And basically,
I'm going to flip the camera so you can show that.
Oh, yeah. Basically, that was my studio tour. Like, it's not huge, but
that's okay. Now there's mine.
It works. It's a little corner of my garage. It's more space than other people have, so I am thankful. But yes, I do not have any plans to show that piece yet. I want to. It's a cool one.
Yes.
But Rowing for Serpent Sightings will be in the Dogwoods Regional Arts Center in the Knoxville Downtown Emporium, which is super exciting. I saw the call for that show, and I was like, ooh, that sounds fun. It's like in an hour away from me. So, yeah that piece will be in that show with some other amazing artists, and even somebody that I graduated with, or didn't graduate with. She graduated this semester after me, but like Raven Cordy, one of her pieces will be in there. She's an ETSU alum. So, yeah, super excited for it. Super excited for all the people in it. It's going to be cool.
So whoever is watching in the audience or watching later, you can come see this painting in Knoxville. And when does that open again?
Oh gosh, I think it opens. I think it opens June 1st. I could totally be wrong about that, but I know the reception is that Friday after June 1st. I can't remember the exact date, but that's the reception. And I'll be there. So if you want to see me and my work and you're in Knoxville around that time, come on down.
Oh, and I'm sure that would be an absolute delight. So for anybody who is watching right now, you of course can ask Shawn any questions that you want as prompted by either something you see in the paintings or something that he said recently. So feel free to drop something in the comments if you have a question about him and his work. And while I'm waiting for people to respond if they want to, tell us a little bit about your experience at the Chautauqua residency.
Yeah, so at the Chautauqua residency, oh my gosh, it was just a month long. It's not as long as they normally had it because of COVID-19, but it was like their first summer back in person. So even in that amount of time, like there was so much that happened that like just changed my trajectory as an artist and my work and like in my goals.
Because that's a group-based residency, right? Like you work together with other people.
Oh yeah, it's super like collaboration based. Like it is very much encouraged. Like at the residency, you're not encouraged to produce work. So like you don't have to make anything if you don't want to. Like you can spend the time to fully just contemplate on your work. And I wanted to at least make like one big painting because I'm a workaholic. And the painting that I didn't even complete it, but the painting that I started and really fleshed out there was Outpost Studies.
Okay, I'm going to flip this so that we can just take a look at it while you're talking.
Yes, that painting. Yeah, and there were 40 some residents, 42, I think, that year. So there were so many people there, so many amazing artists, and the core faculty led by Sharon Loudon, just so amazing. And it really instilled in me like my desire to be in that group setting again, because while there is an arts community in Gatlinburg, Arrowmont, during that time, they weren't like open to the public as much because of the pandemic.
Right.
And, you know, I asked if I could help with the gallery, do other things. And like, obviously they didn't want to add too many more people to the group that they already had because of the pandemic. Totally understandable. So I was feeling a little bit alone.
Yeah.
And it just totally revitalized my love for being in a group of artists. Uh,
Yeah. Well, we have to be together in order to like refine our ideas and
right.
learn new things.
Yeah.
So,
You know, any artist is going to benefit from knowing other artists because opportunities are going to be had, friendships are going to be made, just genuine connections are going to be made. And at Chautauqua, that's a lot of what it was. So it was just so amazing. Yeah, and I met so many friends there that I still talk to today that I'm still like in contact with. And it was a big reason as to why I wanted to go to grad school uh,
okay.
this year. So I am going to
Yeah, tell
grad
us about
school.
where that's happening and when.
Yes, so I'm going to the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Visited there a couple weeks ago. Really cool place, really beautiful. So yeah, super excited about that, and that's going to be happening or starting in August, and it's a 3-year program. So I'll be there making work.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Um, so yeah, super excited about that, and just like seeing what doors that can open. You know.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. We don't have any questions. Oh, who is your biggest artistic influence from Joshy?
Hey Josh.
Is asking you that.
He's an old
So,
roommate and friend.
aw.
Um,
Thanks for
but
being here, Josh.
uh, my biggest artistic influence, see, it not used to be. I would say still is Hernan Boss. Super big artistic influence. Figurative painter, queer, has a lot of forest imagery. So like obviously there's connections there. But I'm also like trying to broaden my viewpoint and like the people who I'm influenced by. So I would say Hernan Boss is the biggest, but Neil Roush is another one. Um, Zoe Frank is another one. Matt Bollinger, like figure painters who are staying in the realm of like representation, like representational work, but who are like so distinctly themselves. You know, I think that's really important. And yeah, I don't know. Those kinds of artists. But Hernan Boss I'd say is the biggest one, but yeah, just trying to open it up to a bunch of people.
That was a great question, Josh. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments because I know that we're going to be. I didn't want to take up too much of Sean's precious studio time, so we've probably got like another 10 minutes to go. But are there any other upcoming shows or upcoming projects that you'd like to talk about and like plug here so that people can know about?
I don't. Well, I'm in like a weird like limbo stage right now because like
Hmm.
I feel like I don't have enough time to do anything in Tennessee before I leave to Arkansas, and then I
Hmm.
feel like it's too much time before I move to Arkansas for me to like do anything or like set anything in stone
Mm.
there. So right now I don't have any upcoming things besides the Dogwood Regional Art Exhibition, but I'm really excited about that one. But project wise, I'm just going to be working on these still lifes. Like,
That sounds awesome.
yeah, I'm excited for it. And I'm trying to think of the still life as an art piece as well. So
Well,
I,
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You see still lifes in museums all the time.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
and even the act of like putting it together was similar to my art practice. Um, so yeah, I don't know what this will bring about because I didn't
well,
do that many still lifes in undergrad, but
we have another exciting question.
mhm.
What is the most challenging part of creating an art piece?
Okay. The most challenging part. I would say the middle part,
The
which
middle
I'll
part.
the middle part. So okay. When I'm creating a work of art, you know, you've got to build that canvas, you got to lay out the composition, and this is the part. It's like a jog. I don't know. This is the part of the painting where I'm like, oh, I'm feeling it. Like this is all coming together. The composition is laying down. The colors are coming together, and then the middle part hits, and I'm like, oh my god, did Did I ruin the colors that I had in the very beginning of this painting? Is the composition not what I thought it was? Is it doing what I said it or what I thought it was doing? And then I have to make changes. So like that painting in my studio that I changed 3 times, I changed it in the middle part because I realized the things that I were doing were either wrong or not wrong, but just like they weren't helping the painting. They weren't helping future me make more like better decisions, you know. It's like a fight. It's like a back and forth, a good fight. But that middle part is always where I'm like doubting myself and I'm like, is this the correct thing to be doing for me right now? And sometimes you just gotta admit to yourself that the thing that you're doing is not right. And then you gotta mess it up. And
That's painful.
it is. But then it's like a circle. It jumps me back to that beginning stage where I'm like excited again. I'm like, oh, I messed it up. Now what do I get to do? You know? So it's always getting past that plateau of the middle part. It's like when I can admit to myself, oh, I only have a couple more days on this to like fine tune everything. Then I'm like, okay, we made it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I may, if I want to encourage anybody who's watching and you to invite people to the house next Thursday because I'm just having open hours where people can come and go. It's going to be, there's snacks and some music and just like come and chill if you feel like it and look at these amazing paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are, yeah, some of them are already taken, but they're not going to be up for very much longer. So maybe you want to take home outpost studies. I don't know. Like,
yeah, that one's a fun one.
Somebody has the space for that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that you would like to tell your audience or that you like have this burning urge to talk about that's in your work that maybe we didn't get a chance to talk about at the art opening?
See, right now, I really do feel like my practice, everything is in like this weird limbo space. So like me creating these still lifes, like I wouldn't have even thought to do that if I wasn't like in a weird little rut. So right now I am figuring things out. Like I'm wondering about the trajectory of my work. Like, is my work doing what I think it's doing? I'm examining that. I'm examining the artists that I look at and what they're doing. I'm looking at the way that painters are starting to implement technology into their work. So like, how are they implementing light? How are they implementing sound into their work? Like there's an artist, Trey Abdella, who goes by Mystic Fish Stick on Instagram. He is an amazing painter, like crazy painter, who, you know, like those images that you walk by and they like change to something else.
Yeah.
He started putting that on his paintings. So like in one of his paintings, you can walk by it and see a cocoon open into a butterfly. So it's like what, that's so cool to me that these painters are like taking it a step further and being like, I don't know, more interactive with the environment. The painting is coming off the canvas, but it's still on the canvas, you know? That's super interesting to me. So I'm trying to figure out where that can show up in my work, if it needs to show up in my work, you know? So I'm just posing these questions to myself to later contemplate in grad school. So yeah, nothing on the horizon now.
Please tell me something though. Please tell me that you're also looking into virtual reality.
That's scary though. Like I've seen painters who do it. Somebody just sent me one of their professors who uses virtual reality, and there's a painter at Syracuse University who used virtual reality that I can't remember the name of. I do follow him, but that's super cool. So who knows? And that's why I want to keep my horizons open. You know, so nothing is set in stone right now to look forward to, but I think looking forward to the unknown is also exciting.
Yeah. No, well, this is really exciting to hear about. Like you're stepping out into something else. And is there anybody else that you'd like to thank especially, or anything else that you'd like to call attention to that is in the region, or like what are your hopes for the arts in the place that you came from? Because you're leaving somewhere to study, but
Yeah.
what do you want to see happen?
Well, I'd love to shout out you because Um, the things that you're doing in the community are awesome. I started looking into Create Appalachia because I talked to, I believe it was Katie,
Mm-hmm.
at the night of the reception. Super exciting what they're doing. I love the Tri-Cities and like the arts community that they're, building and establishing. Like that's great. I would also like to shout out Chattanooga, like what they're doing down there is
Chattanooga is
so
doing some
cool.
amazing stuff.
Yeah. So definitely artists down there like Victoria Sauer, I believe is how you say her last name. She is amazing in Chattanooga. Olivia Tauser, uh, oh gosh, I'm blanking on names. All the artists that I follow in Chattanooga, hello, y'all are amazing. They're creating a really cool arts community. And they have like a residency Stoveworks down there is super cool. I love people and community run art spaces that are supporting artists within that community. I think
Yeah.
that's super important. And I think that the Tri-Cities are doing it great. I think the Chautauqua, we were talking about that. Chattanooga's doing that great. And yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah, all that's super cool.
More community spaces.
Yes. And I think just supporting the artists who are in that community, who are growing in that community, I think is super important. Super cool when anybody's doing that. So yeah, love that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we wish you the best on your journey to Arkansas. Hope that you'll
Mm-hmm.
come back with some amazing paintings for all of us to see, hopefully, in the future.
Right. I will definitely be back in the area. Um, d- d- like everything, I'm keeping it all up in the air. Who knows where I'm going to end up? But I will always visit this area. It is home, Appalachia.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we will miss you.
Yeah.
But be sure to encourage your friends to stop by if they happen to be
Mm-hmm.
in Johnson City. The gallery will be open on Thursday, I believe it's the 19th, because I don't have a calendar in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
from 6 to 8 p.m. Folks can message me here or send me a text. I think my phone number is in the Instagram profile. And I'd love to have more people come and see the paintings.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Will
it'll be
do.
great.
Yes.
Thank you for showing me your space in your studio. I love looking at where people work and how they make it work
Yeah.
because we're all trying to figure out how to make it work and working alongside each other. It's like, yeah, we can do this.
Yeah. Definitely.
So,
Super fun.
well, Shawn, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who's watching. That's all from Eat Art Space here in Johnson City, Tennessee. And I hope to catch you later.
Yes.
See you
Bye.
around, Shawn. Bye.